Good evening, friends. This evening session is dedicated to class 10 as the pre board exam is knocking at the door of the examinees. We are trying to comfort these examinees by revising their lessons again and again by giving explanation of the question and also giving the summary of all the lessons. Now, in an attempt to do so, I'm just revising the two stories of about the flying. The first story I'm going to revise his first flight. Now, the first story is about the family of seagulls. This story highlights the importance of family and friends. It also teaches us the importance of acknowledging one's ability in order to overcome all hurdles of life. Generally, what happens that human being sometimes is scared of something. It is only because he or she lacks, confidence in one's ability. So it is important that one should acknowledge one's ability in oneself in order to overcome the fear and hurdles of life. So this story is about a family of seagulls. There are six members in the family of the seagulls. There are six seagulls, mother, father, three sons, and one daughter. All of them are expert in flying and catching you know, their food, catching fish from the sea. Except the youngest one, the youngest seagull is very much afraid of flying. He has not tried anymore. His father and mother, his parents have encouraged him to fly several times, but he has failed and he has never tried second time because of the fear of getting drowned into the sea. So now the youngest seagull is a bit timid in doing so, and he depends totally on the food being brought by the parents. So now the seagull's family have decided not to support him, and one day they just threatened him that if he doesn't try to fly and learn to fly, he will be left alone. And so they decide to leave him alone on the rock. So they left him on the rock and they all went flying and catching fish and feeding themselves. Having seen his brothers and sisters flying and swimming in the sea and catching fish and enjoying swimming, the youngest seagull is tempted, but he is so scared of flying that he even doesn't try to do so. So now he's left all alone. Nobody bothers. The brothers and sisters are busy flying and catching fish and enjoying the feast of getting new food every day. On the contrary, he is left all alone. So he no more is able to tolerate the heat of the sun and hunger. The hunger becomes extreme and he is almost at the verge of dizziness. And because of the hunger, he feels tired. He lay down on the lace, but nobody takes care of that. On the contrary, he finds that his father is busy in admiring his feathers, and his mother is the only one who looks at him, but she is trying to tempt him with a little feast and trying to attract him, but he doesn't make any effort to fly. And therefore, and on the other hand, the brothers and sister of the youngest seagull, they're enjoying the feast of flying and catching the fish, and they are just busy in swimming and making flights again and again. Having seen all this, the now his hunger becomes extreme, and so the youngest seagull tries to fly. He falls into the sea, but again he tries to make an attempt, and he is trying to fly once again. And having made several attempts, he is able to fly and fall, and then he spreads his feathers upward just to support him and finds that he is little bit away. Though he is feeling dizzy, but yet his fear gets vanished, and after a while he makes a successful flight. He becomes very happy making the first flight. All the brothers and sisters of the youngest seagull gathers near him. They all gather near him, cheer him, and support him for his first flight. They are all happy to see him flying and enjoying, and he makes a joyous flight, making himself well confident of flying, and thus the entire seagull family enjoys his first flight and they are so happy that they are cheering him, they are encouraging him. Thus, the young seagull succeeds in making his first flight. So, the story finally gives a message that if one is able to have confidence in oneself, if one finds and acknowledges his ability in the worst circumstances, one can be successful in making an attempt to survive. So, the youngest seagull is able to acknowledge his ability in himself and tries to fly and successfully makes the first flight. Though in the beginning he struggles because of the fear, he several times tries to fly and falls, and then he makes an attempt. He never gives up and eventually succeeds in flying. So the story of the seagull, and it makes us understand that we should always try to take the support of family and friends. Family and friends are very important in one's life, and on the second hand, we can also understand the fact that one's ability is eventually successful in making one, survive. So one should always try to believe in oneself and one's ability in order to overcome all the fear and hurdles of life. And that is what this story teaches. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.